Hello everybody, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to bring to you a Q&A. If you missed your opportunity to ask a question for this round, be sure to follow me on Instagram. I post frequent question boxes on my story for Q&As like this one, but if you have any questions for future Q&As, feel free to leave them down below as well and I'll just reference this video for the next Q&A. But if you're new here, this Q&A is actually in celebration of hitting 2,000 subscribers, which I soon then got so many subscribers after hitting that milestone, and I'm just so blown away and so grateful that all of you decided to join this eco team and learn more about free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste. So if you're new here and this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, I post videos all along the lines of that, and I post new content every Thursday Japan Standard Time, which is Wednesday in the US. Also, in celebration of gaining so many subscribers, I thought I'll do a Q&A, but I'm also gonna do a small giveaway. So if you're interested in that giveaway, head over to my Instagram. If it's not live now, it will be live soon. So if you're interested in that giveaway, go follow me over there. As many times as I say it, I still get so many comments about it. If I talk too fast for you, please feel free to change the speed of the video using the gear icon right down here. Hello everyone, it's Emma from the future. There's a few announcements to be made, but the most important announcement is I'm doing an Earth Day, Earth Month celebration with my friends Susie from Chew on That and Coco Shin. This is going to be a really exciting Earth Day event, so go down to the link in my bio to sign up for your very own screening of The Story of Plastic. So this is a very exclusive event because you can't watch this movie anywhere else except for the link using it to stream. So we only have 60 spots available for now, but if they fill up, we can open a new streaming. So if you want to get on board, go sign up real quick, do it real fast. It's easy, it's free, and the best part is that on the first weekend of May, we're actually going to be doing an Instagram Live. So me, Susie, and Coco are gonna host that Instagram Live. You guys can join, ask your questions, talk about the things you learned and want to talk about from the movie. And we're just gonna have a discussion for an hour, maybe two. We'll see how long I can stay up because it's gonna be midnight in my time zone. But regardless, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited to watch this movie and talk about it with you guys. So if you're interested, again, follow the link down in the description to sign up for that streaming, which is completely free, and then join us the first weekend of May to discuss it. So also a big thank you to everyone who submitted questions. I love answering questions and I love getting to see everyone's creativity. I get questions all across the board from my personal life to superpowers to my environmental standpoint on stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start with the big question that everyone's been wondering. Where am I moving? I've been talking about moving for a long time now. A little backtrack. I did a Q&A in December. My husband and I are actually in the military, and when you're in the military overseas, you know within a month when you're gonna be leaving. So we've known for the last 3 years that we are gonna be leaving Okinawa in June 2021. So this day has just always been coming. It's not a surprise, but it is a surprise where we're going. Drum roll, please. We're moving to Vegas. I don't know, it just sounds extra fun because it's Vegas. If you're not familiar with the US geography, we are moving to Las Vegas, Nevada, which is right next to California. Everyone pretty much knows where California is. And we are so excited. We had so many west of the Mississippi options on our dream sheet, which is places that we want to go. And we're so happy that the military sent us out west. We both grew up in Ohio, so no offense anyone who lives over there, but we wanted to avoid the Midwest at all costs. Once we learned that our overseas assignments were, I guess, declined, we're like, let's go out west. There's just so much to see and do out there. And if you didn't know, Dan and I actually have an adventure channel, which is a big reason why I cut down to just one video a week, is because come June or July, once we get settled in, we're gonna start making videos for that channel once a week as well. And by we, I mean me. I mean, yeah, obviously he's gonna help, but I'm the main video editor in this team. Anyway, all that to say, we're moving to Vegas soon and I'm so excited, which leads to the next question. What food are you most excited for when you move back to the US? I have a whole list. I have been dreaming of all the food I can eat once we move back, so I'm gonna narrow it down. I'm very excited for vegan food in general because Japan and Okinawa especially are not vegan friendly at all. It's definitely gotten better over the last 2 to 3 years, but just seeing all the products you guys have in the States and in Europe, it makes me long for that stuff. Like, we don't even have vegan cream cheese here. So that's the #1 food I'm honestly most excited for, food item, is vegan cream cheese. It's not exciting at all, but that's it. I'm also very excited for Mexican food, just in general as well, for a few reasons. One, there are very few Mexican restaurants here in Okinawa, and they're pretty good, but nothing compares to bottomless chips and salsa. And that's really what I miss about about these Mexican restaurants is you have to pay for chips and salsa and there's no refill. And I'm also excited because we're going out west and we're going like to the Southwest where there's gonna be a lot of authentic Mexican food. Moving on, the next question is how to be a zero waster when still living with your family. I actually already have one video about this. I'll leave it linked up here and down below. That one is specifically how to live zero waste as a teen or how to live zero waste with someone with a roommate or a family. I mean, you don't have to just be a teen. That one is more along the lines of tips, like what can you still do as a teen? And then my friend Charlotte, who we collabed on this video, she made a part 2 to that video too. So go check out hers as well. But I've been wanting to make a part 2 for a while now, more along the lines of how to talk to your family about becoming more sustainable, because you can do all the sustainable actions you want while still living with your parents. You can still do a lot, but also taking the next step and having that conversation with them to help get the rest of your family to live more sustainably is really important as well. So stay tuned for that. It's coming. So if this question was yours or you're interested in this question and you still don't find the answers you're looking for in that zero waste as a teen video, leave your questions in the comments of that video and I'll get to you there. Next question, again related to the military, is what is my position in the Air Force? My job title is fusion analyst. If you're familiar with the military, there's a lovingly joking term called chair force, and that's because the Air Force sits in chairs all day. And it's true, most of us. A lot of people in the Air Force do like really like intense, hardcore jobs, but not me. I sit at a computer all day. My job is boring, and that's pretty much all I have to say about my job. Okay, the next question I absolutely love, and I spent so much time thinking it over, and that is, what is your alter ego? I am pretty much already living a double life. Like a lot of you didn't know, I'm in the military. So I keep my sustainable zero waste social media life very separate from like my military life. Nobody in the military knows that I do this. So like that's what, like literally I already live 2 different lives. If I was just doing this, what would my alter ego be? And my first thought without hesitation is a grandma. It sounds so ridiculous saying it out loud, but it's true. I've always just had like an old soul, I guess. Like I go to bed at 9 p.m. I knit and I crochet and I bake. I'm already kind of like the mom of the group. Like I'm always making sure people are on time and safe and have food and snacks and drinks. It's very uninteresting, but my alter ego is a grandma. Oh dear. Next question was tips for moving more sustainably. I'm actually working on 2 videos about our moving process. I'm like looking at our pile of junk right now. First video is going to be the decluttering process and talking about what I'm going to be doing with all of the stuff that I'm decluttering. So that's part 1 to moving more sustainably, is not just throwing all your junk away, but trying to find it a good home. I mean, obviously, you know, throw away like tissues and wrappers and things. Don't give that away. But if you come across a pair of shoes that you don't like anymore, don't throw it away. And I already have a video talking about more ways that you can go about donating and selling and getting rid of stuff other than just the thrift store, because thrift stores aren't always the best option, and I want to expand on that later. I have so many video ideas, but I'll leave that video linked up here. So that's part 1. Part 2 is going to be actually the moving process, so making sure things don't break, finding, you know, maybe a moving company that carbon offsets, or doing a move yourself instead of using like an airplane. Maybe you could just drive the stuff if you have the ability. And then other things too, like when you get into your new home, instead of buying a whole bunch of brand new things, maybe go and thrift those things instead. So there are a lot of tips, and I'm gonna expand on this more in those 2 videos. Those are both probably coming out in May, June timeframe, but that is my advice for now. Okay, so a few questions people asked, I actually answered in my first Q&A, but so if you want to go watch that, you can go watch that next, but I'm going to touch on them just slightly in this video just for funsies. The first question along those lines is, what made you move to Japan and how long have you lived there? Like I mentioned, we are in the military. The military is what made us move to Japan, mostly. I mean, when you get to choose your assignment, you don't get to choose. When it comes to getting an assignment for the military, you do get a say. I don't know how much they take it into consideration. Dan moved here first. He wrote Japan as his first one on his list of things. And he just got lucky enough that the military had availability for him here, availability for me here. So that's what they had to take into consideration is, okay, cool, you want to go here, but do they have an opening for you? If not, they'll move on to the next one on the sheet. So that's how we got here. Dan has been here for 4 years and I have been here for 3 years. Oh, and then someone else asked, why Japan? I already kind of answered that. Honestly, I had 0 interest in coming to Asia like 3 years ago. I've always wanted to go to Europe, and I still do. But now that I'm here, I don't want to leave Japan. I love Japan. And I think Dan really wanted to come here because it's Okinawa, it's a subtropical island. He's seen like YouTube videos and talked to other people in his career field who have been stationed here, and they had an absolute blast. So he saw that there was so much to do and see here. The job looked pretty cool, so he's like, okay, putting that on my list. I came to Japan because he was already here and we were already married. So the military just sent me here to follow him. So we got very lucky that we were able to be stationed together as well as live in this beautiful place. We are gonna miss Japan so much. If we ever got the opportunity to come back to Japan, we would snatch it up in a heartbeat. So I guess to go off of that, I would come back to Japan because the people are so kind, the food is amazing, the travel is amazing. I've already started learning the language, so getting to practice the language more would be so cool, and other things like that. Next question, what do you do with synthetic clothing? Because washing them releases microplastics, throwing them away is obviously wasteful. There are a few solutions out there. They kind of differ in price, so maybe look up which one would be best for you. I currently have the Cora Ball, which I don't know how great it's working yet. I haven't had it that long, but you throw this in your washer. If there's any stray strands of synthetics, the Cora Ball will pick it up and entangle it in its little arms. There's also the Guppy bag, which you can place your synthetics into. It's like a garment bag, but it's like really big. This way, you wash your synthetics in that bag. Okay, sorry about the planes, but I'm gonna push through. So the Cora Ball acts as a catcher after they've been released. I mean, the Guppy bag does too. But the Guppy bag acts more of like a barrier. So if your microfibers are released from your synthetics, it'll be contained within the Guppy bag. A third option is actually a microfiber filter to attach to your washing machine. It's a really affordable option from Girlfriend Collective. I'll leave all three of these linked down below. But then Girlfriend is attached to the pipes. So it partially goes through your pipes, but then the Girlfriend filter stops it from actually getting into our waterways. Regardless of what you choose, all three are really great options to still get to keep and use your synthetics as long as possible while preventing microplastics from getting into our waterways. Okay, we have a few more questions, so stick with me. The first one is, what is your opinion on clean beauty regarding it being more sustainable or not? And honestly, I don't know that much about clean beauty. It really is hard to say. I'll leave some YouTubers linked down below. Shelbizzle and Getamary are some who focus more on beauty than I do. That's just not my realm, never has been and never will be. I might make a few videos on it in the future, but generally not for me. So honestly, it's hard to say. Sustainability is important to look at, not just in how sustainable is the packaging, but also how sustainable is it to mine these products, to create these products, and so forth. Because it might honestly be more energy in packaging and mining to make more sustainable things sometimes. Well, sustainable, more green looking things. So they might not actually be sustainable. I'm really sorry I can't answer that question very well, but hopefully those other YouTubers can do that. But the next question right along those lines is, do you think organic always means sustainable? I was gonna say no. Not always. No, not always. Though probably most of the time, because they said some may argue it demands more land. I don't think it necessarily demands more land. I think you can grow 1 hectare of organic cotton or 1 hectare. Oh, I see. Because an organic potato might not be as big as a GMO potato or a potato with fertilizer. I guess, okay, I can see that argument. But at the same time, we're not putting fertilizers and pesticides into our groundwater, and into our waterways. Shelbizzle, again, shout out to her, made a really great video about eutrophication, which is not only when fertilizers get into our waterways, but also animal waste gets into our waterways and then out into the oceans and then creates dead zones, which means nothing can live there. Yes, organic cotton, organic corn might take up a little bit more land to get the same yield, but again, this kind of all goes back to if we all live a little bit more plant-based. I've got a complete series on veganism and why veganism is better for the planet if you want to check it out. Because if we quit eating less animals, we don't need to grow as much corn and soybeans, which means we could dedicate that GMO fertilized corn soybean area to organic instead, and then instead just feed the humans instead of the animals. And so this is looking at sustainability more as in sustainable for the earth and sustainable for humans. I think it is more sustainable to not use fertilizer because we have to create that fertilizer. We have to use machines which require gas to spray that fertilizer. So if we just use what the earth gave us to grow food, then that really is more sustainable, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I believe we only have one more question. Just kidding. We have 2 more questions. No, we have one more question. Down to the last question. I saved it for last because it makes me heated. And they say, why is environmentalism so closely tied to political liberalism, in your opinion? I want to make a video all about this. I've had this on my brainstorm list of videos for a long time, and that is, why is climate change political? My best guess is because of Al Gore. Just to put it simply, obviously it's a lot of factors, I think, but mostly Al Gore. Al Gore is running for president. For those of you who don't know, weren't born or don't live in the US. Hey Siri, when did Al Gore run for president? I don't even know.
Here's what I found.
Albert Arnold Gore Jr. That's why he goes by Al Gore. 2000. Okay, so in 2000, Al Gore was running against Bush for the presidency. And one of the big things that Al Gore was campaigning for was the environment and for global warming. And so that's kind of when everyone was like, global warming is just for liberals. It's just for the leftists. Like, if you're over here, you're with Bush, you're a Republican, you don't believe in global warming. I think that is my best guess as to the start of why it became political. And then it probably just snowballed from there. As we all know, Al Gore lost the presidency. It was a close one, but he lost. And look at where we are now. It really makes me wonder, though. He's such a big advocate for the climate that I'm like, if he had won, would we be in a different spot 21 years later? It's hard to say. Because, one president can do really as much as they want for the climate, and then the next president could be like, nope, I'm removing all that. But really, that is all for now. If you want to learn more about me, feel free to check out that first Q&A, again, linked up here or down below. If you have any more questions, leave them down below. I'll answer them here. I'll save them for a future Q&A, something like that. Thank you to everyone who is subscribed and is supporting my channel. It means the absolute world to me, and thank you for watching this all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And a big thank you to everyone who asked questions and made this video possible. I love getting to interact with you guys with Q&As like this, in the comments, and so forth. I literally read every comment because they just make me so happy. But that is all for today. Again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next week's regularly scheduled content. And until next time, remember that these small changes you make have a big impact in the long run. Bye, guys. So if this is... and feel free to go ahead and have... And then you can have a chance to win... And then you can win a prize. Okay, speaking of my first... I was not speaking of it. If there's any stray strands of synthetics. OMG. I want to save that one for last because that one's juicy. OMG, please hold that pose. Please, 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 please. No! If we all... Are we okay? And one of Al Gore's big, campaigning things was environment. He was such a big proponent for... He was such a big advocate. Everyone's gonna love this. I've literally had people say, and I don't blame them, recently that they love my content, but they subscribed for my cat and my dog, and I'm like, you know what? I do that too, so I don't blame you. Just for the people who subscribed for my animals, here you go. Hey, Denahi, my boy, do you want to go on a walk? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay, now bye.